Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. In the last part we continued on once again through Raccoon City trying to avoid Nemesis in the process and got the last part for the trolley that we need to fix. And now we're going to continue on. One thing I could recommend at this point, if there are any herbs you know you haven't grabbed in the area before the municipal hall gate and you want them, go grab them now because we're not going to be in this area of the game for much longer. And thus, you could potentially lose out on them forever. But that's only if you want them to begin with. Blue herbs are always going to be around, though. There's always going to be a place to get a couple of those. And also, I should mention, as I'm about to show off in a moment, I did change my inventory a bit from the end of last part. Namely, I added in the machine, the M37 parts A, and I think a double green herb. Why? We're coming up on my least favorite part of the game, honestly. And I don't just mean, like, in terms of, like, story or something. I mean, pure, I hate playing this next little section. It doesn't last long. It's only probably for the next 2 or 3 minutes. But I don't like what's about to come up. At all. It used to be my second least favorite section of the game, but nowadays it's just flat out least favorite. The zombies are gone for a reason.
Stars.
Our 5th optional fight against Nemesis. Needless to say, you can probably tell why this one sucks. Look how small the arena is. There is so little room for you to maneuver around, and most of your dodges are just going to be plain inefficient here. This fight sucks. Thankfully, he can get partially stuck on this little garden thing to my left, but this fight just sucks. I'm trying not to use all my grenade launcher ammo. There's something else I want to use some of that for, so I only use about half of it. The one thing I can give for this fight in terms of playing for you is that if you bring the grenade launcher and say have freeze rounds for example, it's very hard for him to dodge stuff in this area. Just due to how thin the area is. You can take a lot of damage here, and I just don't like this fight too much because it is so hard to avoid him. Ugh. Like I said though, this is an optional encounter, it's just the fact that it's probably the 4th most important one out of the 7. Because out of all of them, I believe you don't get the items from him in sequence. It's entirely decided based off the encounter it is. Like, say, if I avoided Nemesis the first time, but not the second, I would still only get the Eagle Parts B. I think. If any, like, aficionados of this game want to tell me otherwise, please let me know. I'm actually curious about that. But it's just worth going after this one in particular because we get the M37 Parts B. Meaning we now have an upgraded shotgun. Has a smaller clip, as we'll see in a moment, but compared to the Benelli M3S, it's much better. At least I think it has a smaller clip. I think it has a max clip of 6. Yeah. Meet the Western Custom M37, equipped with a special reload system and is effective for close-range battle. This is basically the shotgun that Arnie used in Terminator 2. Complete with the, like, one-handed reload and everything. Or, I guess, left-handed, one-handed cock. But either way, it's really good. Really fast firing, really fast reloading. The clip is half the size, which kind of sucks, but you'll probably be killing most enemies in 1 or 2 shots anyway. Doesn't matter to me too much, though, because honestly, I don't use the shotgun much in this playthrough from here on. Well, that was weird. It also has to do with the fact that I use the grenade launcher for more, and I just don't make too many shotgun shells in this playthrough. Also, grab these green herbs now. It's the last opportunity to really do so, and it's when they're the most useful, honestly. That's why I ignored them until now, because I knew I'd have exactly enough inventory space. Meet our technical first encounter against the Gravedigger is this thing's name. It evolved, I think, Worm? However, it's not really a boss fight. You can kill it, or at least damage it enough to the point where it leaves. However, it's a waste of ammo. We just want to turn on the switches and then turn on that third thing we saw behind me for a second there, just so we can get out of here. It's more of a puzzle fight than anything, and he tries to hurt you whenever you get close to one of those holes. The moment you lower this ladder especially, he'll spawn immediately, So make sure you're close enough to the ladder you can just immediately go up it. That was eventful. Either way, thankfully this ladder takes us right where we need to go. And now I can continue on and get into the trolley. Slash cable car. Slash train. This thing goes under a lot of names. You can enter through either door. I just like to go through the back one because it's right where the items are needed. Either way, let's get this done. Make sure you have the two oils mixed, and you're fine.
It looks like we're ready to go. Here, take this.
Hey, free flame rounds, thank you.
Okay. Nikolai won't be joining us.
I understand. I'll operate the cable car. Let's go.
Alright, let's see what the other guys has to say.
No, don't come any closer. Stay away.
Mikhail slowly becoming Christopher Walken. Ow, more cowbell. Ow.
It's looking good. Mikhail!
I know that musical cue, and so should you. Ah, boy.
Mikhail!
Jill, get out of the cable car now!
Mikhail, wait, don't!
Get out of here! Hurry! Just a little closer.
Mikhail.
No, the brakes are out.
This choice allows us to either jump out the window and activate the emergency brake. It very slightly influences the plot. I'm gonna jump out the window personally because I like it more.
It's useless.
For the most part, choosing jump out the window just puts you a bit closer to our next destination, the clock tower. Welcome to the second area of the game. Those are very slow zombies that are right behind us. Don't worry about them. Just get in here, grab the clock tower key 1, and just move on. They're no threat at all. We never even need to come back in there. So, yeah, we can go on. And into the save room. Let's check that clock tower key. It's a key ornamented with a clock part. It is a screw-shaped ornament around the round-shaped object. So now it's a different named key. There's a reason I'm doing that, because there's 2 keys technically called clock T key. Want to store the grenade launcher and its rounds for right now. Combine the herb just so I have better healing items. For the most part, in terms of weapons, you only really need the handgun for stuff I'm going to be doing around this part in the game. So, that's what I'm going with. I'm bringing the shotgun as a just-in-case kind of thing. And now we've used the winder key's first use. I just heard footsteps.
Carlos!
Phew. Well, we both managed to survive. Maybe we can start helping each other again.
Yeah, it's been rough. But we can rest now.
No, we're the only ones left. There's no rest for the wicked. Here's a gift for you.
And we get some free freeze rounds. You only get these if you jumped out the window, I believe. And now we can continue on the clock tower. That green door there is locked, however. Art picture postcard. Picture postcard of an antique clock. The following verse is printed. Give your soul to the goddess, put your hands together to pray before her. That's a hint towards a puzzle we'll be doing next part. It's locked. The god of time is etched under the keyhole. Well, that means we can't get through there for now. And I believe this directly leads into the main hall for the clock tower. Yep. The clock tower is technically the second area of the game, even though it's one of the smallest. Let's grab the map just to show that off. There's also first aid spray here, which, you know, good to have more of those. This is a very small area. Not much to do here either. I'm not even sure if there's anything in the room below me to get either. But we do get a pretty unique weapon here, the mine thrower. I'll talk more about it in a moment. He's holding something in his hand. Operation instruction. Orders for the UBCS Echo team. Wipe out the downtown area of the infestation, and then evacuate the remaining citizens to the clock tower. Among the civilians, remember to give priority to the employees of Umbrella's affiliates. Remember to stay alert because the infected have a high endurance rate and will strike without hesitation. Evacuation procedure. 1. Once the mission is complete, or when it becomes too impossible to accomplish, evacuate immediately. 2. We'll deploy a helicopter that is waiting in the suburbs to the yard in front of the clock tower. 3. When you're ready for evacuation, ring the bell of the clock tower to signal the helicopter. So now we have an out. The mine thrower is a very unique weapon. There's only like 2 ammo boxes for it in the game, giving it a total of 3 full clips. It fires a mine forward, and it will hit an enemy and stick to it, in which case it'll explode a few moments later. The initial hit does damage, as does the explosion. It's a very limited use weapon though, and I'm only going to be using it in one fight in a few next part, I believe. Or the part afterwards, maybe. It is worth getting for that one fight, though, and for possibly something else if you're on your second playthrough. I'll get into that in a few parts. Now, welcome to the second save room at the tower. Kind of weirdly located, but okay. And there's some pretty good stuff in here for me, at least. I'm going to store the mine thrower for right now, just so I can do all I want to. We got, I think it's either 2 more A's and 2 more B's, or 3 more A's and 3 more B's. Either way, very good for me, which means more ammo. I believe I spend these all on making some sort of C type of ammunition, though. I forget. In fact, honestly, outside of the 24 Magnum bolts I made earlier on, I'm basically blanking on most of my ammo procedures. I think I use these to make more freeze rounds. That sounds like something I'd do. And here's the other clock T key. Let's immediately investigate this one just so we can differentiate. It's a key ornamented with the clock part. So now it's the bezel key. I have no idea what that was supposed to be. I guess that's supposed to be Nemesis getting here or something. I don't know. And now I want to get a bit more stuff out just so I can make some stuff. Actually, I think I ended up making plain grenade rounds too, because plain grenade rounds are very useful to have in this game too. Because that not only they allow you to make other types of grenade rounds, they're just very useful for damage on normal enemies. And it looks like I'm about to take the grenade launcher with me here, but I'm actually just making sure I can have the normal grenade rounds all in one place. I'm actually bringing the mine thrower with me for future use, because the one fight I use it for is actually up and coming pretty quickly, because it's at the end of the clock tower area. Which we're only here for this part and next part, I believe, so let that speak for the length of this area. Mind you, most Resident Evil games on the PlayStation had a very long first area, then the rest of the areas are all pretty short in comparison. You know, I'm kind of sad that wasn't Nemesis, because that'd be much more intimidating. Just run the hell away, then the zombies are basically pointless. They will still be there later on, but I'll have other things to do at that point. Also, this room has a variation in it as well. It can either be a crawling zombie or 2, or a few drained Deimoses, I believe. Or are they, brain suckers? I don't know the difference, honestly, when it comes to those. And now, there's something I want to do to hint towards a puzzle in the near future. An old music box. Its melody is out of order. That hints towards one half of a puzzle coming up, and the other half is also hinted towards in this room, behind the staircase. Which I didn't even know you could go back in my first couple playthroughs. It seems to be an old music box. So that means that's the correct tune. We now want to head upstairs. Yeah, he's somewhere around here. I guess that is what that shaking was supposed to be. I've actually never really been sure about that, though. I think it's supposed to be Nemesis, but I have no way of knowing. And in here, there's the returning spider enemies. They can poison you, which is why there's blue herbs downstairs. That first one's the only one you really need to worry about, because the other two are usually close enough to that bomb just to instant kill. But they will drop baby spiders upon death this time around, which is pretty annoying. But let's just enter the, I think it's the outdoor clock tower balcony is the name of this area. And there's actually going to be, I think it's 2 red herbs in here, which are some of the last red herbs in the game. I think there's only one other set of them somewhere. So if you want to go and store these, I would recommend it. I have other things to do, though. Which is why I think I'm only grabbing 1, I think? I forget, honestly. When it's outside the normal items, I tend to vary how I play 3 more so than I do 2. There's a keyhole on the ornamental copper plate. Use the bezel key? Yep. So now we have access to the top of the clock tower. And we can throw away the bezel key as well, which means I think I do grab the second red herb after this. Which, you know, cool. And now we're coming up on one of the most random puzzles in the game. However, it's also one of the easiest. What do we have to do? Investigate this music box. We have to match that tune. However, sometimes the pieces are out of tune, like so. We have to make sure we have the right notes, and that's about it. This puzzle is randomized each time as to where you start and which one's tune and out of tune, though. It's very easy, though, because it's very obvious when they're out of tune. I'm not even musically minded, and I can tell that these are out of tune. I think they actually struck a good balance with this puzzle, though. Completely randomized, but easy. I have to wonder, though, and this is to anyone who knows music out there, is this an actual song, or is this just created for this game? I'd like to know if it's an actual song, because I like the way it sounds. I like music boxes in general, actually, because they're pretty relaxing sounding. The moment you hit all, I think that's 6 switches in their proper locations, just hit the play button, and it'll play it out, and then we'll get our reward for this puzzle. And here we get the Chronos chain. Let's investigate that. A chain made of a gold made to a door got a time. There's a small screw hole near the ornament. Well, that sounds familiar. Combine it with the winder key, plain and simple. And we get the Chronos key. And over here we get a silver gear. That'll come in handy for a bit. And over here is one of the usually where one of the 2 mine thrower round locations are. They are slightly randomized, of course. However, you cannot overload the mine loader. It can only have 6 bullets at a time. Beautifully ornamented gadget. Well, that looks like it's missing a gear. Let's try the silver gear. Well, it's perfectly hitting the right gear, but the left gear is completely ignoring it. Nothing happened, which means we need more to this puzzle. Great. But our business in this room is concluded. You could save here, but it's honestly one of the worst save points in the game because there's no item box. I hate it when there's an item box without a save point and a save point without an item box. It just feels wrong. Oh, I guess I don't go for the red herb. Live selection. Either use the light or use the cord. Use the light will knock him off this balcony, but he'll be around the area more often. Use the cord, well, you'll see. And that is our 6th out of the 7 optional encounters with Nemesis, and we get a second first aid box. Kind of overkill on healing there, honestly. But like with the kitchen, he is down but not out. The moment we leave the room, he gets up and he can do one of two things. He can either charge out the room at us, or he can go somewhere else, which he did the latter in my playthrough's case. But with that, I'm going to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 7, we'll be continuing on in the clock tower and seeing if we can find out what that Chronos key is used for. See you guys then.